Now, there's been wild jubilation in Kenya following the country's Supreme Court ruling decision to annul the recent polls won by the incumbent Uhuru Kenyatta. The Election Commission had declared Mr. Kenyatta winner by a margin of 1.4 million votes in the August 8 election. But the Supreme Court's ruling, read by Chief Justice David Maraga, said the poll had not been, quote, conducted in accordance with the Constitution, unquote, and declared it invalid, null and void. It ordered a rerun in 60 days.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you notice, the majority have not attempted to give any reasons in this short summary. But let me add this. Election is not an event. It is a process from the beginning to the end. We will, I believe, be able to demonstrate why we reached our conclusion that taking the totality of the entire exercise, we were satisfied that the election was not conducted in accordance with the dictates of the Constitution. Now, having heard from both sides, I want to read the final orders. Consequent upon the above findings, and as to what orders, declarations, and reliefs this court should grant,
the opposition coalition led by Raila Odinga said the ruling marked a historic day and called for resignations and prosecutions at the country's electoral body, describing them as corrupt.
For the people of Kenya, and by extension, for the people of the continent of Africa. For the first time in history of African democratization, a ruling has been made by a court nullifying irregular elections of a president. This is a president-setting ruling, and they are very historical. I would like to take the opportunity to thank the Supreme Court judges, led by the Chief Justice, for doing this for posterity, the people of Kenya. Secondly, I would like to take the opportunity to thank our lawyers, team of lawyers who burnt the midnight oil, worked so tirelessly in order to prepare this case. Also, another team of other very dedicated young Kenyans who worked without sleep to gather all the evidence that has been used by our lawyers in this case here. This is a triumph for the people of Kenya. And we said at the beginning that our journey to Canaan was unstoppable.
Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta, in an address to the nation, said even though he disagreed with the Supreme Court ruling, he will accept it.
Let me ask every single Kenyan, wherever they may be, whatever they may be doing, whoever they may be with, take the hand of your brother, take the hand of your sister and shake it and say, Amani, peace. Peace. And I repeat again, peace. Your neighbor will still be your neighbor, regardless of whatever has happened. The man and woman who sits with you, who resides next to you, shall still be your neighbor, regardless of their political affiliation, regardless of their religion, regardless of their color, regardless of their tribe. My primary message today to every single Kenyan is peace. Let us be people of peace. Let me, on the third instance, say that it is important for us as Kenyans to be respecters of the rule of law. I personally disagree with the ruling that has been made today, but I respect it as much as I disagree with it.
Now, at a rally later in the day, however, President Uhuru Kenyatta had some harsh words for the country's Chief Justice. He referred to Justice Maraga and his fellow judges as wakora, which means crooks in Swahili, saying they had decided to cancel the election. Now, he warned the Chief Justice that as the poll had been annulled, he was now the president again, not president-elect. And here's a direct quote: "Do you understand me? Maraga should know that he is now dealing with a serving president." Mr. Kenyatta said, "We are keeping a close eye on them, but let us deal with the election first. We are not afraid." I'm joined on the phone now by Kenyan journalist Lydia Nkamburi Imwawisa of the Standard Media Group. Hello, Lydia. Thank you for making time to join us.
Hello, how are you?
Now, what has been the mood in Kenya today? Earlier, we saw videos of people jubilating. Do we still have people jubilating on the streets in Nairobi?
Yeah, exactly. There's been so much celebration in most parts of the country. People are just, they're just too excited after the Supreme Court released their judgment on the same.
Now, after the decision was announced, the Supreme Court delivered its verdict. We've heard the opposition leader, Raila Odinga, speak. We've also heard the president speak. How have their messages been received by the Kenyan people?
Most of the people have really applauded the judiciary, saying that they've redeemed themselves, and they're all waiting after the 60 days so that they can go back to voting. They are so excited that the court has given them what they want according to the Constitution. And they're saying that Raila Odinga and President Kenyatta should now wait after the 60 days and see what the Kenyans will decide.
Now, how about the messages coming from the president and the opposition leader, Raila Odinga? The president, we're told, after he saying that he accepts or he respects the ruling, there was a rally in Nairobi, we're told, where he had some harsh words for the Chief Justice. What have been the reaction of Kenyans to that?
Most of the Kenyans are asking President Kenyatta to respect the judiciary and let Kenyans decide what they want after the 60 days. And on the opposition side, some of them are really excited, and I see that they'll come in big numbers to make the decision in the next 60 days.
Do we know if there's been an official date for the election, the rerun of the election?
Sincerely, there's no specific date that has been set. They've just said that the election will be held in the next 60 days, but no specific date.
All right, thank you very much. You had Lydia Nkamburi Imwawisa of the Kenyan, or the Standard Media Group, that's in Kenya. But let's get on to Twitter. We have quite a number. Kenya is trending here in Ghana, and all through the day, people have been reacting to the messages that have been coming. Let's click on Kenya and see some of the tweets that we're getting here in Ghana. All right, so we have this one. Well, starts with the story that says judges are now Kenyan presidential election, and then Kinshan Tito or Pius Adesini says once an African election guarantees their interests, the international community will stand on corpses and declare it free and fair. And we have like Soda saying Kenya Supreme Court ruling is a win for the rule of law, a win for independence of the judiciary, a win for democracy in general. Rahel Kitty says Kenya Supreme Court nullifies President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election. This huge, historic, massive, etc. Hashtag Supreme Court decide. And Juliet Nakato says, what? Somebody pinch me. Am I still in Africa or some parallel universe? And we will be bringing you more of the reactions on Twitter and on social media when we do Joy News Interactive. You're watching Joy News Prime here on Joy News on Multi TV. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the Eid celebrations across the country. Stay tuned.